Well, hello, I'm Alex, and today we're going to take a tiny creative playwright together. This is a series where I'm putting projects that don't fall into the category of creativity warm-ups, sketchbook doodling, or daily play with scenes. Now, of course, activities like making collage and ink blots, doodling, coloring, and stamping, and mandalas will show up here. Why? Because these are my obsessions. But I want to use this space to introduce new things, like paper folding and cutting, for example. So think of me as your personal trainer to get your creative mojo back on track. The way I see it, you can't have inner growth without creativity. One insightful moment of creative play can erase years of resistance, giving you newfound energy. And the fun you have with your creative side spills over into all parts of your life. And lastly, igniting your creative spark gives you fresh eyes to try new things and make meaningful changes. This is your creativity timeout, baby. Go ahead, check it out. Well, hello! Today's Creativity Timeout is about Halloween and how you can make an easy little stamp to create some cute little gift tags or treat bag tags or cards for Halloween. All you need is the typical supplies we need when making EVA foam stamps. I've got lots of videos in this series where you can see me making other things. Today we're going to focus on this little ghost and this spider web, but the supplies are the same. So you're gonna want some EVA craft foam. I'm gonna keep working on this green one, but it's the kind of foam you want is the one with the sticky back, because we need to stick it on a support. You're going to want scissors so you can cut it out. You're going to want, I don't know what happened to my pencil, but you're going to want a pencil so you can do some etching. You need a hole punch if you're making tags. You may or may not need some glue, so you might want to have a stick of glue handy. You will need something to use as supports. Today I'm actually going to use this little wooden support to make a stamp with it, and I'm going to use this coaster to make a stamp with it. You can use any support that's hard. It can even be a really thick cardboard. A lot of my videos use a cardboard support, but today I am going to use these two guys just to show you a different way of doing it. You're going to want some orange craft paper, or any other color, just orange would be appropriate, and you're going to need your ink and your stamp pad and some wipes, some scrap paper, and then you should be ready to go. So as you can see, I've already made this little guy. So this too was one of these alphabet stamp things. So this is from a game. So if you can go into a secondhand store that has old boxes with games for little kids, so this was an alphabet set, they make great supports, so that's just a little tip there. It's great to repurpose any little wooden support with a handle. It keeps your fingers from getting dirty when you're stamping in the ink pads. So this little guy is what ends up looking like this, and I thought we'd make another one facing the other way. So the reason I like this little guy, because he's just so easy to make. So you're basically doing a teardrop shape three times. So a big one and then two little ones. And then the little ones we cut in these little tiny, make these little cuts, and you get these little fingers, ghost fingers. So since this one is going to the left, I want to make one that goes to the right. And so you're going to cut out a piece of foam. Just cut it out in a square or squarish to get started. Obviously your support is going to dictate how big your foam needs to be. So if you're using cardboard as a support, that's an advantage because you can just make your stamp as big as you want, and then you stick it on the cardboard and then you cut it out. But since I'm using wood and it's already been cut out, it's already the size that it is, I'm restricted to that. So, but that's fine. So I want to do this guy. So you can draw on the back if that's helpful to you. Just keep in mind if you're drawing on the back, when you stamp, it stamps the other way. So just, you may be surprised, like after you create the stamp and you stamp it, you may be surprised it's going the other way. It usually doesn't matter unless you're making an alphabet, in which case it would matter, but we're just making ghosts. So I'm going to just cut in here and make this first teardrop-ish shape. I'm calling it a teardrop because it starts with a point. So that could work, right? So I could have this guy up here like this. So that works for me. And now I'm going to cut two little bits more. Remember to keep your bits if you can, because you might like having them around in a little tin or a little box. So that's one. Now I want one going in the other direction. So again, I'm making these 3 teardrop-like shapes. 2 are really small because they're the arms. 1 is the body. So I'm going to kind of do that. Now again, I'm restricted to the size of my stamp here. So can I get them in there? Yeah, I can. And then the way I was making the little fingers is, if this is this little guy here, I go in with my scissors and I cut out little triangles. I just sort of cut out as many as you want, 2 or 3, as many as you can get in there. So I'm removing these little triangles. Okay, that's 1. I'm just going to do 2. I don't need more than 2. And these are so small, more than 2 doesn't really make sense anyway. So 1 and 2. So get your three shapes onto your support. Before pressing down, it's still, you can move it around. So the saving grace is you can move this foam around. So that's gonna work for me. Get it in as close as you can. Get the arms as close as you can to the body. There's going to be a line, as you can see here. There's going to be a line anyway because it's a separate piece of foam, so the ink doesn't go inside there, which means it's going to show up as a line. Okay, so that's going to be this guy. And then the face, you know, you just want 2 eyes and you want a mouth. Your face could be it could be a smiley ghost. You could use X's for eyes and a little mouth like that. Make your eyes uneven. Make your mouth like that. I think I'm gonna do. So this had the 2 eyes, so And this is where you get to etch. So just take a sharp pencil, push in, and create some lines, and there you go. So let's see how that guy turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and fold this in half. So I'm using craft paper, which came in this size, but if you buy it in regular paper size, maybe you cut it in half or you cut it in thirds to get strips like this, which make cute little cards, depending on how big you want your card, of course. So I'm gonna add some ink to this black stamping pad, and so you can see as the ink gets on there, my EVA foam turns black. And let's just see what happened. Oh my goodness, isn't that adorable? So what if I have both of these on here? Yay! Okay, let me show you really quickly how you can make a tag. So I bought these tags, so that would be one way. You don't make it, you just buy it. But you might want to save one of the tags for future use, or just to create more of them, because you can use it as a template. So if, for example, you bought a pack of these brown tags that you use for all kinds of gifts, for Halloween you might want it to be on orange, so all you need to do is buy some orange craft paper, and you can use this as a template, which is what I did here. I traced around it on this orange paper that I've already folded in half. So I folded this paper in half in anticipation of turning it into a tag, and I'm making it the same size as my tag, as the store-bought one, right? Okay. And then what I thought, so this is where your hole punch comes in, where you just punch a hole. And then what I thought would be fun to do would be to make a kind of tag that opens where you could write a message or write somebody's name. You could also write the name on the top and put the ghost on the inside. So this is where the glue would come in if you wanted to add glue here to glue this down. Let's do that real quick. And the fact that you've folded it over and glued it makes this a little bit stronger, which is kind of nice too, depending on how thick your craft paper was. This was not very thick, so having it double here at the top where you would attach it makes sense. And so let's take our new ghost, which is this guy, and I'm going to stamp this little guy right here, and I'm going to stamp the other guy on the back. There's no reason why you can't have one on the front and one on the back, right? So one on the front, one on the back, cute little tags. Cute little cards that you can stamp on the front, back, inside. You could even turn these into little accordions, so folding them, that might be a fun way to decorate. Let me do one here. I don't know if you would fold them before or after you stamp, that's kind of up to you. So on this one I folded it after I stamped it, and on this one I'm folding it before. So mixing it up, maybe I'll put one right in the middle, going this way. So it's up to you, but you could see how this would make a cute decoration in your home. You could make it longer by just putting a little bit of tape on the back. You could connect several of these. So this guy's even easier than the little ghost we made. For the ghosts, we had to cut out 3 little shapes. For this, we're going to do all of it etched, so get your sharp pencil, and then we're going to cut out a shape that just fits on our support. So the first one I made would work for that. So this is a coaster, so I'm going to be gluing on the hard side, not on the cork side. So the way you might start is to take your support and trace around it on the back side of your foam. It doesn't have to be exact. It's probably going to be a little bit smaller than your support in most cases. But just starting this way means it's easier for me to cut out the foam I'll be using. So I know whatever I do needs to fit on here so that I can stick it on here. And the way I would start is I would start with the spider web, with the center of the spider web, and because I know I want a little spider, it won't be the center of my EVA foam here. It needs to be a little bit higher up. So I'm just drawing with my pencil and pushing down into the foam. I'm going to start like this. Go ahead and turn the foam. It'll make it easier for you to draw your lines. So I'm starting at the center and creating basically like a star shape, leaving a little more room towards the bottom here because that's where I'm thinking of adding the little spider. So now what we do is we just go around. So if this is your center, we're just going around. We're drawing straight lines, or you can make them sort of curvy. It's kind of up to you. It'll look more spidery if there's a little bit of a curve to them. But as you can see here, I did them just straight. It's that sort of it's up to you whether you want it stylized one way or the other. Depending on how big this is, you may not have room to dip your line. You'll just be making a straight line. So you may find it easier to go in one direction and to keep turning your foam as you work. I do usually go back into my lines, but I might wait and stamp it first. So you might want to do a trial stamp, a test stamp, to see if before you go back in with your pencil and darken any lines, because sometimes if you have a more of a delicate design, when you go back in with your pencil you lose details. So we'll do a stamping test first. How big do you want to go? It kind of depends. I think this might be enough. And I've come around and I want to stop it at one point to get that line to the little spider. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to draw this little blob, which is going to be my spider. Make 2 little dots and a smile. Hopefully that'll show up in the stamp. And then I'm going to give it 4 legs on each side. So let's see if that worked out. And then I'll trim it, which I might just go ahead and do now before I do the test stamp. And the way I'm going to trim it is I'm going to trim it. So let's see if this makes sense. I'm going to trim it along these divisions that I made of my spider web. trimming it from here to here and from here to here and from here to here. That makes sense. Because I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to add that little spider at the bottom. So I've made it this far around, and I'm getting closer and closer to the spider as I decide what to do. So I may cut around the spider now and go up. Sort of as if I had cut this across, but not all the way, so that I can add the spider. Now you could add the spider as a separate shape and just cut the spider web out and then have a separate shape. But then it wouldn't be connected by the line. Now you could add the line with a pen. So there's a lot of different ways you could go about this. I'm just going to add a few more lines here to make it look more spidery. So that it's not all even. So let's do a test stamp. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stick it on. I think I'm going to be happy with it. But you could do a trial stamp, stamping on some scrap paper before you stick it on. But I think I'm going to be pretty happy. Now, the reason I like these stamp pads that sit up on top of the plastic support is because they're easier to use this way. So I'm going to add some ink because it's been sitting out for a while and it dries out quickly. Now would be a good time to grab a wipe and clean that off, maybe if you got some ink on your actual stamp, depending what your support is. With this coaster I wouldn't be worried about it transferring, but if this was a thinner support, when I go to stamp I very likely transfer that ink. So let's do a test run here, and I think that's good. So you can see I lost a little bit of line, but it might be because I added a lot of ink. So let me try that again. See how it shows up here? So sometimes you just get too much ink in there. So even though it went into a line, it's surface level. So what you want is that happy place where you've got enough ink to have it all come out the color you want, in this case black, but not so much ink that it's making some of your lines disappear. So this is a little too light, this is a little too dark. Let's see if we can't find that happy place in between where it's nice and dark without eating any of my lines. Now, the other solution, if it never works, is just to go back in with your pencil. But that worked, so I'm happy with that. Even though I'm missing some definition here, and it seems to be showing up that way. So this would be a good example where I could go in. Let's see, where is that? If this is this guy, it's over here. So it's this guy that's missing the definition. So this is a good example where you could go in with a pencil and maybe carefully redraw some of those lines. I don't know, I might have just made it worse because of the black. I'm having a hard time seeing, but I'm good with this. Let's go for it. Making a little card with my spiderweb design. Of course, this could be a tag too. All you'd have to do is trim your little corners here and punch a hole with your hole punch. So this could be a nice square tag, right? So let me ink it up again. It's looking pretty nice. And voila! So I did lose it again, a little too much ink. But that's kind of the fun of homemade stamps, of course, is that you can tell they're homemade. They're not machine made. So if something's really bugging you and you're trying to fix it, actually I did get that fixed, so the only thing that didn't show up was the little line. Take your wipe, get some of that ink off, otherwise you're just not going to be able to see what you're doing. So I got a little bit of ink off there, and I'm going to grab my pencil and just go in there a little bit. So let's see if this last one here for today, let's see if we can get this little guy to show up exactly the way we want. Yay! We did it! Perfect! Cute little spider stamp. And now it's time to clean. So all you have to do to clean your EVA foam stamps is to stamp them out on your scrap paper. Try to get as much ink off of that foam as you can. And then you can take a wipe keep wiping the ink off. Until there's no more ink on there. So there you go. That's how you go from this to this. I hope you had fun taking this tiny play break with me and with Lampshade Baby. Because you know what? When it comes to your creativity, it's never about what you're making. It's about how you feel while making it, right? I've got lots more videos for you here on my YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and play. Come back and gift yourself a daily dose of Make Stuff Feel Good energy. Thank you so much for being here, and sparkle on.